Hey lovers, what's cracking, mates? Welcome to another episode of What's Cracking with T to the O to the T, and I remain your special host. You know how we do this. You sit tight, relax, and enjoy today's episode. But before you do that, all up. You know you have to share this link with your friends, your families, your enemies, your frenemies. You know everyone around you. Don't be stingy. You can't be the only one enjoying all this, talks and sweet voice of mine. Alright guys, let's get started with today's episode. So for starters, we started last week with premarital sex, and I mentioned that we're going to be having it in parts because it's a lot to discuss, it's a lot to debate on, it's a lot to deliberate on, and it's just a lot, and we couldn't just have one episode of it. So today we'll be talking about premarital sex. Part 2, I'll be talking about cohabitation. Last week we talked about if it was a normal thing, why was it normal, and the validity. You could check the last podcast and listen to it so you can catch up and know where we are today. So today we are talking about cohabitation. Yeah, cohabitation. I mean, what's cohabiting? What's cohabitation? It's when two people live together, and practice sexual shenanigans. All this old sexual thing, they're practicing sex. They're having sex, premarital sex. Yeah, so it's practicing sexual shenanigans, sexual immoralities, premarital sex, which is what we know that it shouldn't happen as Christians. So basically, we're gonna have like a new twist, or let me just say a new norm, because I know that our manual for us here is the Bible, and we are going to try as much as possible to make sure that as much as we discuss these things, we also talk about it and give Bible references to everything. So let's get started into what we have today. We'll be talking about cohabiting. First of all, what is cohabiting? Cohabitation is when two people live together, like I explained. Now, what we want to talk about is should it be done? Why is it a bad thing? Why is it not a normal thing? Why is it a bad one? Why do you think it shouldn't be normal? You get. So first of all, let's just even know our stand on sexual immoralities. Let's know our stand according to the Bible. So I'm going to read from 1 Thessalonians 4, 3-5, which says, "For this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immoralities, that each one of you knows how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God." Yeah. So that is the stand. That is God's stand on sexual immoralities. Sexual immoralities is also as well as premarital sex, which is part of sexual immoralities. Let's check another Bible reference to that. We have 1 Thessalonians 5:22, and it says, "Abstain from every form of evil." This brings us to cohabiting. Now let's get this straight. Living together is not a sin. That is not the sin here. The sin is you practicing what you're not supposed to practice. Now, the question is, how does living together lead to cohabiting? How does it? What's the relation? What's the link between the two? Now, first of all, living together is like a catalyst to premarital sex. It's a catalyst to sexual immoralities. Let's even just forget premarital. Let's, put them in a group. Living together is a catalyst to it. Living together is something that, it's a situation, it's a compromising situation that you are setting yourself in already. It's like how would I put it? I'm looking for a very I think catalyst is the best. Yes, it fasten that reaction of you going into all forms of sexual immoralities. Now that's why on my own hand, living together leads to, which is not good. Now cohabitation is bad. I'm not against you living with your partner, because we have people that live with their partners for some reasons, some financial reasons, which could be like, oh, okay, there's actually no money for one person's house rent, living abroad, and you would have to try to economize what you have and live together. Now, in that sense, you're living together in the same apartment, but you have your separate rooms. You have your separate washrooms as well. So living together is not a sin in this context. Is when you live together and then you indulge yourself in immoralities. You bathe together, you start having sex, you start seeing each other's nakedness when you are not married. I mean, that is where we know that, okay, someone else has taken the wheel. Definitely not good. Definitely not good, because that is not what we have in our manual, which is in the Bible. That's not what we have in the Bible, and that's not what we're told to do. That's not the will of God. I mean, as Christians, we know that our job is to do the will of God. One job that we have, because we have faith in Him, because we believe in Him, we have to do His will. So why do we think it's so much in our society these days, when I feel the movie world is not even helping at all? You see in various movies that living together as partners when married is like a normal thing. So you don't even want to check yourself to see if you can control your sexual urges, if you can control your flesh before you even decide that, oh, let's live together. I mean, we see in uni, we see people living together, 16 years old, 17 years old, they move into the university, and the first thing they do is they have a boyfriend and they're already living together as, I mean, husband and wife. It's not done that way. You're not moving together, you're not living together in this context, you are cohabiting. I mean, it's not something you should do as a Christian. So why do you even want to do it? Why do you even want to indulge yourself? The Bible says that flee from all evil. A situation that will give you that doubt. I don't see why we should be in it. You know that, oh, well, I can't really control my sexual urge. And then you're suggesting that you live together. You've never started living together, self gone. Your body is doing you giz, which is normal, but even while you're not living together, you're already thinking of having sex. Now, think about it, that when you now live together and cover it, it's going to be a whole crazy turnout on its own. Let's look at how we can move forward with it, how we can control it. From my own view, I think you should be able to have an agreement with your partner. I came across an article where this lady mentioned that, oh yeah, she lived with her partner before they got married. And she said it was difficult. It was so difficult that they had to just pull through by this. Now, in that context, living together is not a sin. I would repeat it again. Now, them going into that sexual immoralities that they fought against, that's what we are trying not to fall into. Now, they asked her that, okay, if someone comes to you to ask you that, madam, I want to live with my partner, what would be your suggestion? And she mentioned that she would outrightly tell the person not to do it. You know why? She has tested it. She has seen how difficult it is. We all have different levels of what's it called? Would I say faith, or different levels of our temptation gauge? Yeah. A baby Christian, you can't see a baby Christian and tell a baby Christian to live together with his or her partner. Oh, that baby Christian is treading on it. Oh, time bomb. So she said she's going to tell the person no. Extremely difficult. But then if you can come together and agree that we are not going to do it, first of all, you are not even sleeping in the same room. I mean, you are not even living together yet, and people are having sex without living together. So it's not about you living together to have sex. It's about together to now fuel that sexual urge. You're not living together and you already have that discipline that, oh, we are not having sex. Now imagine you living together. That living together, seeing each other every day, we have blood running through our veins. So seeing each other every day automatically fuels that urge that, oh, can we have something? Can we do something? Oh, after all, we're going to get married. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not being judgmental here, but I just feel, in my own opinion, according to the God. Now, this is not even my opinion. This is what the Bible is saying, and that's what we are looking at. We shouldn't even think of putting ourselves in a situation where we would have to compromise and then we'll regret later. I mean, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 2 says, but because of the temptation to sexual immoralities, each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. See, the Bible has already told us that there's temptation to these sexual immoralities generally. So I see no reason why you want to say that, oh, the Bible doesn't know what I'm saying. The Bible doesn't know what I'm going through. Of course, the Bible knows. Oh, this marriage thing, why is everybody so about it? Kini-kan. It's actually in the Bible. Hebrews 13:4 says, let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. So I really see no reason why we should try to tailor the Bible to suit our own self. I mean, that's what I see these days. And Proverbs 14 verse 12 has said it all, and that's the verse I'm going to leave with us so that we can ponder on it. It says, there is a way which seems right to man, but its end is the way of death. Proverbs 14:12. There is a way which seems right to man, but its end is the way of death. So it's we all have it, so it's best for us, and it's left for us to decide what we want to do. It's left for us to decide how we want to proceed. Probably there's someone listening to this podcast that is living together with his or a partner, or I don't want to say living together, that is cohabiting. You should retrace your steps back. I mean, it's not over. Nah. You should retrace your step back. Go back to God. Get inclined with the Spirit and come to an agreement with your partner. To not cohabitate, but to live together and remain pure. Having the purity at the back of your mind. This is kind of a sensitive topic because there are various reasons why people live together, why this compromising situation comes up in front of you, like grab it. And I understand. So, which is why I'm going to leave us to talk about it. Tell me what you feel. Tell me why you think it's a normal thing and it should be done. Why you think that you can control it. Tell me why you feel that it's just good. Some people get to say it gets to know your partner. It allows you to know your partner well. Okay, let's discuss. How well can you control your flesh? How well can you control your sexual urges? So let's check out the podcast on Instagram at Real Talk with Thought, and let's drop our conversation. Let's talk with each other and let's know what and what not to do moving forward. But do not forget, this is according to what God's standard. Thank you for staying to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Till I come your way again next week, do not forget to share this link with your friends and families, and also follow this podcast on all social media platforms. See you next week, Thursday. Peace.